You know, I'm fanning away. This time it was because it was like a roller coaster ride. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the fireside chat where the fire is not a real fire, but the fire that gets ignited in us when we see the governor across our screen. I'm just reading everyone saying hello. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, yes, we are going to address um who you think shot the governor. We'll get to that. So it's exciting to see that Chris McNally, Lucas Bouchard trending again, and the numbers were great, double digits, 12,000, something like that. And I also love, I just love that every hashtag that people have come up with are just it just trends, which I think is cute. So this was definitely, the Lucas Bouchard episode again. In the past, every episode that we've had so far, it was, if he wasn't in the scene, it was about him. And this was very heavy on, like, Chris had a lot of scenes, and he's been a busy guy. He's racking up the minutes on screen, which is nice. um he does have the best fans, Christina. You are correct. I hope he's tuning in to hear us. He does have the best fans. And you're from all over. I see everyone saying hi to each other. When it opened, it went droop in that little 10-second thing, and it went straight to 160. There are a lot of you that are here. I love the chocolate bunny. It was showing up. At first, I thought, what is that chocolate bunny, when I first saw it earlier, and then I realized what it was. But it's so cool. And then I was coming up with, me lady loves shady. So if they're going to call him shady, we have to twist it and turn it around. So I am glad that the very first scene was Lucas in the center of town having a conversation with Elizabeth. And he's always, if we're going to go back to the way it's always been, he's always been the one to apologize first. And he says to her, I am sorry. And she's like, I'm listening. And I thought, ew, you know what I mean? You owe him some apologies, but whatever. That's how they wrote it. And I love that it was clarified that he wasn't really engaged to Jeanette. It was something that she wanted. It kind of reminds me of, like, when Rosemary blew into town, she steps off of the wherever was the train or stagecoach or however she came, and she says, I'm here to see my fiance, when she was supposed to be engaged when they were really young, from Jack. And Jack was like, you left me. That engagement's been over. So it was kind of the same thing. And I'm not surprised. But what I see that they're immediately doing for the fans is showing that Elizabeth and Lucas, like, Elizabeth wants to be his friend. There's a want there, and that Lucas wants her in his life. But I love how, when they say, is are you okay with it? He never says he's okay. They always have him saying that it's he'd rather be her friend than nothing at all. And it happened more than once. Grammy Rose, what are you saying? Another snooty comment from Elizabeth. Couldn't the writers see that? I don't know. I don't know what the writers are seeing. I have no idea. And I know people are sensitive to it, so I try to, like, stand back to see it from that perspective. But they have given her quite a few snooty lines. But then I go back and I think, did she always have snooty lines, but we were so in love with her that we overlooked them and didn't realize it? You know how you have, like, that rose-colored glasses on? I think we took them off and we put them on for some dark shades because we love shady. He's such a wonderful person. Where's this? Big time she owes him the apology for how she dumped him. And she kind of even owes Nathan apology, if we're going to go with the new storyline, because she, like, jerked that heart out and ripped it out and threw it around and stomped on it. And now she's back. So, but that's tomorrow. That's not today. But I also really liked, I hope she doesn't want the friendship to use him him for her or own gains. Oh, Mitzi, I don't think that's where the writers are going with that. We have to remember that these aren't real humans. It's how the writers are moving it along. And I don't think that. I love hearing that they were never engaged. It was all in her mind. Now Elizabeth knows the truth. Yes. And I love how that conversation carried over with Nathan and Lucas. And I have to say that this was a lighter Lucas because he was really, I don't know, recovering, I guess, from who he is. He still has a little limp, but he's better. And I love that they just didn't make it go like that. They made it progress, which is nice. That's good writing. And so he sees Nathan and he kind of gets this look on his face. I think it's a Chris McNally look, to be honest with you. And he goes over and he has a conversation with Nathan with the darts and their whole little. And I know Tanya said it's like passing the baton. You're next, which is kind of cheeky to say, but that's not what that scene was. The scene was more or less like, go ahead, we're friends, you go, like, because he really wants to see her happy. That ending when he says, make a promise to me, and when he said it, actually got tears in my eyes. Like he said to her, jump, both feet in, and she's like, I'm going to. Like, his character has always paid attention to detail, especially with Elizabeth. And like he says, he came to Hope Valley, and he met her, and that's when he really fell in love. But when he says to her, what is like, promise me you'll jump in with both feet, I thought, oh, I love you for that. It annoyed me that Elizabeth told Rosemary that she never loved Lucas as much as she loved Jack. Well, Jack is gone, and if she wants a father for her son, she couldn't do better than Lucas. The character that they created, that is true. And that's how they're rewriting the story. We know that, she says, I love you first. When she, we know it's a rewrite. We get it. But she said there was love there. It just wasn't as much as she loved Jack. Well, she says that she sees Jack before in Nathan, so she's just replacing him, I guess. But that's a different storyline. Of course he was. Sure, because he had a big part. He would be right under Erin. This was definitely the Chris McNally episode. So I'm so excited that the men are together. When those men are together, like when Chris has to share the screen time with Kevin and Ben. I love when Ben and Chris share screen time, and Kevin. And now I'm saying Henry, but I'm saying everybody's name is their real name and then their character name. When those guys are together sharing the screen and you throw in Jack, who is Bill. Oh my God, they're hilarious. And I love that they had such a formidable person to go up against. And it was Maisie and the idea that what they came up with. It's cute to see that council together. I'm really enjoying it. But it was a lighter Lucas. Last week I was so fit to be tied because I did not want them to sully the whole beautiful part of Lucas with that love is patient, love is kind. And they redeemed it in this episode by writing that he was not engaged to her. So what he had said to Elizabeth really was the truth. He knew when he would see the woman he loved, he would see her and he would be patient and he would wait. Unfortunately for him, she didn't feel the same way in this new version. I'm going to love the scenes with Henry and Lucas because Henry is hilarious. Did you see how they had Henry dressed? He was barely dressed. Like the collar of his shirt wasn't all the way down. It was kind of like haphazard grandpa kind of look, which I thought was funny. I thought that was great. Oh, she must be hard for Nathan to be third choice. Oh gosh, I don't know. That's a whole other craziness. I will always believe that N and E got together. The ghost of Jack will always be part of the partnership. Yeah, Jen, like we talked about that. You know how I feel about that. That's a different kind of a story. Okay. Yes, Christina. I'm actually glad he told E to move on. Geez, so am I. And what do you all think about the guys, the council? them all, as a team. I remember I said he'll build a cabinet around him. And if they're going to combine the two and make it so la di da di da, and Hope Valley will never look the same, do you think that they are refurbishing or extending out the actual set? The Heart Valley set, and not for nothing, I don't want to like insult anyone. That set's been around for a while, but it kind of looks like there's a little wear and tear going on there, and it could use some upgrading. Do you think that they'll expand, maybe build another row house? Maybe, I don't know what the budget calls for, but I feel like they could use some expanding. Are they going to do a lot of that CGI, AI kind of stuff to make it look like that grand, gorgeous hotel in the background? I'm curious. What do you think? Do you think that the actual set will get an upgrade, not just them constantly trying to move around and, repurpose different sets? Me too, Cindy. I always wanted him to be mayor, and I always felt like we would get that. I felt like we were going there. So while I'm waiting for your responses, because I'm really interested in two things. One, well, there's a couple things, but definitely, what do you think? Do you think that they're going to, Susan, I was there in December after they'd been filming, and there wasn't upgraded. Okay. They filmed, but they filmed um, but 11 was this past December. That was not 11. That was already done. So they would not be building in December. That's why I'm curious of what they were doing. If they're doing a reboot of storylines and they need to upgrade the set, I think so too. I guess it will be depending on if the resort comes to fruition. It seems like somewhat doubtful. I don't know. So that would be sad again, because every time they want to put something in Hope Valley, it changes. But I remember someone saying that Hope Valley will never look the same again. I remember them saying that. Who knows? Maybe they'll have two different spots where they film, like they did when they were doing Hamilton, like when she was in Hamilton, so many seasons back. I think it was season 2. I don't know. Let's see. Kathy says, I'm not sure the resort project will actually go forward in the end. A summary of a later episode said that Rosemary and Lee had an alternate proposition for Lucas, so I'm not sure what that would be. Okay. I think that Lucas will always succeed in getting what he needs, and with his guys beside him, he certainly will. Yes, it's like his cabinet, right? I'm so excited for that. All right, so while you're putting all of your ideas in, Cindy, I was there when they were filming in September and didn't see or hear any upgrading. But they were filming for what we're seeing now. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Cindy. Season 12 has not been filmed yet. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't think in season 11, because I think at the end when we see it come in season 12. So they would have been building now, in the springtime. Okay, so while you're all doing that, I wanted to share with you, I did peppermint tea, remember? I don't know if you saw my little poem, but peppermint tea helps with your memory, and apparently it jogged the governor's memory. I sent him some tea, had some sips. Really, it was the photo that he saw. So my next question is, who do you think? He knows it's not there. If they do this build up, and it has to be, I know I'm so afraid to make predictions with this new team. It has to be someone that the viewers know. So it can't just be some random person from his past. I think it's who shot Lucas. Who do you think? Put it in there. So by the way, peppermint tea in my pretty little cloud teacup. Whoever, I'm going to ask a question in a few minutes. Here it is with my peppermint tea, and it's this tea, and y'all can get it if you're interested in it. You may have already had it before. It's so good for your stomach too, but it's good for memory. Peppermint tea. It's Celestial Seasonings, and these are my favorites. I love, love, love them. These are the sugars. They're actually from France. They're sugar cubes. And if you watch my video, I plopped 2 of them in. So you have 3 choices here of winning something. If you win, you have the 3 choices, but I didn't tell you what the question was yet. Okay, maybe it's Amos Dixon. It could be. It could be. I feel like Amos Dixon at this point is older. The only reason why he came in and held, he was released from jail or running fast when we first met him running, running from the law kind of thing. I feel like he'd be the kind of person that he would get someone to do the work for him because he was kind of like higher up on the totem pole kind of thing. Oh, well, you know what? That might be a racist thing to say, and I am sorry that I said that. I didn't mean it that way. Higher up on the ladder. How's that? But I'm thinking that what about Wyman? Who is Jeremy? Maybe it's Jeremy. Who's Jeremy? I don't know who Jeremy is. Everyone's saying it's Amos. I feel like maybe in real life, Nathan. No, actually, they're actually friends in real life. I'm thinking it's Walden, Wyman, Walden. Yeah, I think because he's more like that and he's known to do that. Wouldn't that be fun for him to come back and do something like that? Hmm. It did look like a small framed type of a person. And if that's true, then it's not Dixon because he's a burly guy. Yeah. They almost seem to have other shows filming there when One Calls the Heart isn't there. So not sure when they would have time to refurbish Hope Valley, but I agree it is needed. Yeah, they don't have a lot of I'm sorry I dropped something. Terrible podcaster on these Sunday nights. They don't have a lot. They did have a show recently, but I'm thinking like an extension. You could still film around it. I don't know. I'm very much interested in what they would be doing. Let's see. Yeah, remember Bill asked for his gun. And what's interesting is Lucas said he touched the gun. And remember there were all those fingerprints, even Lucas's fingerprints weren't on there either. I meant Jerome Smith. Jerome Smith himself? He's another one we'll get somebody to do it, I think, right? Yeah, I know. Okay, so what was the other thing that I had wanted to okay. So right away we have the first scene is Lucas and Elizabeth. Who was the next scene? That's your question. Who was the next scene that he shared with? Beside at first it was Elizabeth, but then who else? And he and Elizabeth had a lot of scenes together. They had a lot of conversations. Yeah. Maybe Spurlock. He's kind of big guy though. He's a big burly guy. Nope, it wasn't Bill. Yes, Amanda. Now, oh no, Anna Marie. So listen, I almost said boys and girls. Listen, folks, it's whoever I see first, and you're all correct. It was Anna Marie. If you message me on Facebook or you go to my email and email me, you have choices: peppermint tea, fancy sugars, or the teacup. If you like, let me know. But yes, it was Henry. I was so glad, and we knew that was going to happen as long as the writing was plausible. We knew that was going to happen because remember he said, "I'm going to keep on asking," and he's like, "You can." Lucas said that to him when Henry came to visit him when he was in the hospital. So I love it that he's going to be part of his council. And again, I thought that was hilarious how Henry was dressed with his collar all askew. I thought that was great. Well, you don't have to tell me now. You have to send me a message because then I got to get some info from you, Anna Marie. And the choice is yours. So the community that Jamestown is in, the city will not allow additional buildings, etc., due to the bylaws. Okay. Well, then I'm wondering what they would do. How would they go about this then? Maybe they will be filming in more than one place, like they did in season 2, I believe it was. All right. So tell me, what did you think about the idea of a friendship between Lucas and Nathan? I felt like we saw some of that last season, especially when they were given a tour of the town and they were helping out Lucas give a tour and all the guys were involved. Do you feel like you saw a little bit of that again? Coming like a spark of them being able to be friends. I don't know, for some reason I did. And I thought that would be a mature thing, especially since it seems like, do you remember we would get so upset that Elizabeth was friends with Lucas, I mean with Nathan, and was always having conversations with, and opinions and shared information and blah blah blah. I feel like that's flipped now that she's going towards a relationship with Nathan. I feel like that friendship with Lucas is happening. So I don't know. I feel like they can be friends. Somebody's saying no, no, no. I do. I think that they might go towards that. Yes, thanks to James for talking to Henry, who helped him decide. You mean Joseph, who helped him decide what he should do. He was afraid of himself, right? Yeah, yeah. I think a friendship is possible, but not right away. I agree with you. Martha's going, all right, Grammy. I think a friendship is possible, but not right away. I know, but I don't know what the writers are going to work towards. I felt Lucas was being compassionate towards Nathan, knowing how he feels about E. Class act as always. Yes, I agree with you, Teresa, which is so nice because for a while there we were like, how shady is he going to be? But you know what we have to remember? Here's something that I found that I had to remember. I don't know if you know my story, but I have been watching When Calls the Heart. I remember it was being advertised from the get-go. And I've been in love with it because I love the character of Elizabeth and I love Erin. And along the way, I fell in love with Rosemary and loved that marriage and that relationship. They're my favorite relationship couple is Rosemary and Lee. Even when Elizabeth was having her big, passionate romance with Lucas, it wasn't that I was so in love with their romance. It was that I was so in love with Lucas, the character. And where am I going with this? Because somebody was asking me about Compassionate Class Act as always. I don't even, oh, okay. Shady. The writers don't say shady. The writers didn't say that. They were giving us stuff and then they eventually gave us more, hoping we would come back for more. But we're so into social media, and I never was until after season 8. And I was like, oh my gosh, the hatred that was spewed between in the fandom. And it's again, and that's where that shady comes from. Always using that word shady, shady, shady. Never did any writer ever use shady until Elizabeth said that there were some or Beth said there were questionable things in Lucas's background. I feel like saying, girl, you were there when that was written and they cleared up about what happened with the fish. So she kind of latched onto that. But in the end, we know that he really isn't that questionable. So that's a good thing. This is a good thing. I think that Nathan was surprised at Lucas's response about Elizabeth and that Lucas wants a friendship instead of not having her in his life at all. And I think it spurred Nathan to ask Elizabeth, yes, yes, like, what am I to you? Are we just friends kind of thing? Yeah. Not sure why he would want to be friends with Nathan, but the writers will make it happen. I don't see why he started to want to be friends with him from before, but again, it I could understand why, because he didn't always treat him nicely. But Lucas is the kind of guy that likes to keep his enemies close, right? Yeah. Yeah. And he's a doll. He's the kind of guy that's not doesn't really hold judgment. And I think it's because he's seen his character is seen so much, and he himself has had to be in my hair looks like poo poo. He himself has had to deal with things and make decisions that sometimes you wonder, you know, if you're just on one side of the law, he's not judgmental. And if we are to believe that this is the same Lucas, not that that story ended, but if we were to believe, do you remember when he meets Nathan's father, who's a gambler, and he says to Nathan, I see a man struggling. I've seen this before. Like he wanted Nathan to give the dad a chance, and Nathan was like, no, 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 no. So, the Lucas that they've created, that character, he's a very compassionate man. He very much is. Yeah. Let's see. You're too realistic. I can't see it break up like this and have them be friends. It's TV. So it will happen. Yeah, they already made it start to happen. There's a lot that they made happen. Let's see. Karen, I just wish that Elizabeth would have returned the sentiment to Lucas when he told her that he wanted her to be happy and jump in with 2 feet. Listen, that Elizabeth is not the same Elizabeth. She's very self-centered. I Is it written in the stars I'll ever find a love like I had with Jack and blah 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 blah. We're over her own wanting to be happy. Remember, that's all we ever wanted. We're worn out from that now. They wore us out. Sorry. We're worried about other individuals now. I love that Opal drew that hotel. It kind of looked in my mind's eye like I thought it would be. How about you? What were you thinking? What do you think? You think that's what he said it was even better than what he had thought, and I thought that was cool. Let's see. Was there anything? I love the men being together. Okay, let's talk about how they make the room spin a little bit when he has his memory. Do you think I don't know, do you think, like, I'm waiting for like a pivotal moment where he really has the flashback happen? Is he going to stumble, fall? I feel like it's going to be something big, not something small. What do you think? What are you all thinking? You think it's going to be like a big, oh my god, see how they as soon as he looked at the photo, and it cracks me up. He's like, it's 5 months later. If they were going to do something, don't you think they would have? I don't know. Thank you. Elizabeth is not the kind individual she was presented season ago. Yeah, you're right, Jan. She's very into herself right now. Like, the writers did have Nathan tell Faith in season 9 that Lucas had questionable dealings in the past before coming to Hope Valley. Yeah, remember? I do remember that. Remember, that was the whole thing about why they put him in jail. Remember? Yeah. I don't think so, Martha. I don't think he knows who shot him. And actually, I'm pretty sure Chris McNally said he saw out there that there are a lot of Hardys think that, or he saw that in social media, and Lucas is not holding back information that he doesn't know, but eventually he's going to figure it out. Let's see. That was my point before. Elizabeth's character has changed. She takes advantage for herself. Yeah, we know a lot of characters have changed. Let's see. They need to give Nathan a good storyline. Yes, we are waiting for that, but this is not about him. This is not about Nathan. This is about Lucas. Lucas only. I think that he's going to be in danger again. That would completely make his memory return. I agree, Karen. I think something big is definitely coming. I think somewhere along the line, I know Brian Burda said we would never give a cliffhanger that would leave people, and then he changed that all around last season. And I feel like we're going to wind up with another cliffhanger, I really do. But I'm glad to see that now Lucas is lighter. He was laughing and joking. He had some funny one lines. I love that, his one liners. I think what was it when we said throw us a bone? Oh, that was funny. When they were talking to her about I'm just looking at my notes, Mitzi. I love the men against her. That cracks me up. And it took Henry to kind of like go in and figure out what to do to get, her to play into their hands. Brian Bird has already said that they would end with a cliffhanger in season 11. Yeah, I thought I saw that. Mitzi, my point, you said what I said was not valid about Elizabeth, confused about your earlier comment. I don't know what you're asking. Sorry, Mitzi, don't know. Christina Lemon, I think so too. What'd you say, Christina? I missed it. Lucas needs to be happy again. He will. I think they're dragging that out. It's become, and I said this before, it's not like it's an episode and there's like they have too much. All of the storylines now have this major arc. All of them are taking place overall. Maybe the thing with Anna will be 2 episodes. Okay, that's good. Maybe I don't know what else might get cleared up. That might be the only thing. It's before they would have something that would carry over, but now all of them carry over, and it's just, I don't know, a lot. You have to be strong writers. and they need to go take a page out of the way home and what they're writing. It drives me crazy how self-absorbed Elizabeth has become. Everything is about her while Lucas is so humble and kind. The look in his eyes as she left his office put tears in my eyes. I know. And isn't it amazing that he's such a wonderful actor that he could do that? And don't forget that this is a show that's written. So we have to always go back on what the writers are saying, are doing. And I find it funny. Do they realize that they made her appear self-absorbed to the viewers? I don't know if they even realize that. I'm not sure. Sometimes I don't think that they do. I can't believe she acted like she wasn't in love with Lucas. She said she loved him. Remember the kissing on the bridge? Yes, Dana, but that's a different story. I know. It's a different story. It's different. I mean, there's no other way to go around it. Has anyone else noticed that um E's writing seems to have been dropped? I don't know what that means, Jan. Say it again. Has anyone else noticed that E's writing seems to have Oh, her being a writer. Yeah, that's not in that at all. Not at all. She's barely a teacher. Nathan only walks around in his red serge. Everything is about Lucas and who shot him and making the Grand Hotel. That's I mean, and little other I don't know. That's what I mean. Journaling scenes, yes, yes, they have been dropped. Usually she would do quite a few of them in the very beginning. Yeah, I know. I think there's a grieving process going on, and Chris is portraying it beautifully. He is. He is. And yes, Janet, yes. He's getting that charming look that made you love him in the beginning back. Yes, yes, they're giving that back to him. Yes, I agree. I agree. Ava says that Lucas is the epitome of a well-traveled, well-educated, kind-hearted, debonair gentleman. He is, and we could put some of those letters in it, can spell shady. Yes, books are gone, and that was their link from the time they laid eyes on each other. They talked about books. So, yes, they steered clear of that. Yes, yes, and a yes, yes, yes. All right, folks, this has been great. Tomorrow, if all goes well, I've had some behind the scenes emergencies in my personal life. But if all goes well, I will be there tomorrow and we will be talking about the entire episode, not just our Lucas Bouchard. And I have a guest. I have Eric coming on, and he is Edwin. We didn't get to see Edwin in this episode. Edwin's going to chat with us. And then I have another guest who is a Hardy, and his name is Bryce. You might all know him on some of the fan pages. And he is going to talk to us about how he is excited for the Faith storyline, what we know of it so far, and what is to come. Yes. Thank you, Christina. You're welcome. Yes, yes, yes. Up. Wait a minute, Jan. Did anyone else notice that Lucas's attire changed? When he first started, he was wearing light suits. Now he's back to dark. Yes. Yes. And that could be seasonal. It could be a seasonal thing. I don't know. Yes, the time did fly by tonight. Was there any talk about Lucas being shady tonight? No. Not in the episode. No. But he's always going to be shady to us. Yep. All right. All right, friends. Yes, had white socks, now they're black again. That's funny. Oh my gosh, you're funny. All right, everyone. Have a good night. And whoever won, make sure you send me a message. See you later.